Okay, let's get rolling. So, selling at lightning speed. So what we're going to cover today is Pat Live, voice recorded message, classified ads for sale, negotiating the sale price, getting buyers under contract, facts and agreements and closing, 2 types of closings, follow-up, and getting a big fat check. So do you see why we started the way we did? But before we jump into that, I've got a couple of handouts for you guys that you guys are going to get, and I just thought I'd show them with you. I'd show them to you right now. So basically, this is what we should have accomplished by now, right? So you should be locating properties. You should be locating owners. You should be pre-screening properties, constructing and presenting offers, and selling quickly. So now what we've got to do is we've got to kind of do the same thing, but we've got to start locating owners. We've got to start locating people that are going to buy our properties quickly. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys? So it's basically the same steps that we did, you know, the 5 steps to building a successful business. It's the same kind of thing. Now you got to looking for applying the same principles to finding buyers. Okay? So I'm not going to go through all that because you guys already know how to do it. You know how to locate owners. It's the same thing as locating sellers. You know how, well, we're going to cover pre-screening them, we're going to cover constructing the offer, and we're going to cover selling quickly. So I'm going to cover a lot of these in between part 1 and part 2. Okay? And then there's a checklist here. You know, checklist on how to sell quickly. You know, determine the sale price for the property. So what are you going to sell it for? Create a flyer. I'll show you examples in a few minutes. Place signs in front of the house or in front of the yard with a number that receives calls, and you know, you can. I've got a script that you guys can use. You can set up a voicemail, or you can set up Pat Live. I would just use Pat Live. You have a different number, and you set up a different account for it. You should be building a buyer's list. You should be notifying them by email or by fax, creating and running classified ads, negotiating the sale price. You want to make sure you find out how they're buying it. So if they're telling you I have to get financing, you're going to say see you later, because these guys are hard money or cash. I would not do traditional financing even though it's in here. I would make sure I get my $1,000 earnest deposit. I would verify that they have hard money or cash. Fax all the paperwork to the attorney, both buy and contract, sale contract, and then coordinate buyer, closing fund, seller to close. Okay? So I basically covered here what we're going to talk about today. Okay? And then the next one is kind of flyers. So here's a quick flyer. So no bank qualifying, owner will finance, purchase, or lease with option to purchase, only $139,000. Your credit is approved. Right? Refer a friend who buys and receive $250. And you can do a mail out to this. You do a mail out to the neighborhood that the house is in. You guys get that? Yeah. Like you do a postal code drop within a 2-mile radius. Where's your buyer going to come from? That neighborhood. Every house we've sold, every house I've sold, and every house Stan sold, the buyer came from that neighborhood. We sold a house in Washington, the guy next door bought it for his mom. Okay? So this is not where you like create a list. Like this is easy. Easy stuff. Here's another one. Let me show you how you can own this home. Introduce 2 new home ownership programs.
Are we doing this thing, owner financing?
Yeah. And then here's just a simple one for a wholesaler. This is for a wholesaler, right? These first ones here for lease options, which I'll talk about later. This one's here is for a wholesaler. R 145, repairs 15, sale price 75, gross profit $55,000. Do you need to know more than that? Right? And then you provide columns. Right? Someone gets this information. If you get this information come to you in your email, do you need to do any more homework?
Yeah. Why I trust the seller.
Okay. But you're going to phone me up and you're going to say, hey, Dario, I'm interested. And you know what I'm going to say? If I get somebody like you? Sorry. Next. I got no time to deal with complicated buyers.
Yeah, that I have.
They're running a business.
Yeah. They said we don't have time.
I don't have time for you. Okay?
Actually, these
Did he sell his property?
in 2 hours.
There you go. It works.
Yeah.
He probably made 5,000 or 6,000. This is a flyer that Stan made up for me. This is when I sold some houses here in Canada. So we were a little more elaborate. We used color. That was the front. This is the back. And all we did was a postcode drop. These ones went to what? Burnaby Heights, Carousel,
Yeah, downtown area, Carousel area.
where we figured it'd be $1
area.
million homes. We figured somebody that lives in a $1 million home would want to buy an investment property in Phoenix. Okay? So when I refer to flyers, these are the things that you guys want to do. This is a Word document, right here. This is a Word document, nothing complicated. This is a Word document with a picture in it. This is a Word document with a picture in it. Nothing fancy, smanchy. And then this one here, what is this, Stan, what kind of files?
Yeah, it's publisher.
Publisher. So this is publisher. It's a little more complicated. It's beyond my computer skills. But if you had to pay somebody, what do you think it would cost you to get somebody to do this for you? 25 bucks?
A friend did it.
Well, the thing is that once you've got all the layout done,
Yeah.
once you've got all the layout down, you can make all the changes yourself. Right? So you pay 25 bucks to have it done once. You don't need to learn how to do it. You just pay 25 bucks to have it done once. And then you can make your changes whenever you want. Before I started teaching classes, I didn't know how to use PowerPoint. I still don't. I just cut and paste.
So was that so?
Yeah.
Within 2 hours?
No, Vancouver people are more complicated. I was selling it I was selling it at retail. I wasn't selling it at wholesale. There was a tenant in that property, right? So it was a little more complicated. It wasn't as simple as, you know, I was selling it based on cash flow.